2.1 Simplifying Expressions. In my class, I do a demonstration at the beginning of this class, and I have different people go to the front, and they're wearing different color shirts, and I ask my students to group them according to something, and they usually figure out I want color of t-shirts. So we talk about the different ways we could group them, and then we group them according to color, so that we can talk about like terms. Like terms are things that are alike. And for us, when we're talking about variables, we're talking perhaps x and x squared. And these two are not alike, because like terms have the same variable and exponent. So when I talk about these two, I talk about x is like the black shirts, and it's usually a t-shirt, so I usually say black t-shirts. And the x squared are like gray t-shirts in my demonstration, because they both have an element of black. They've got the x, but gray is different, and so the square tells us that it's different. And then when we're adding gray shirts and gray shirts, they don't magically change to a black shirt or vice versa. So if we're adding x's, they won't change to x squares because they're not the same. This is like black, this is like gray. So we want to keep in mind about like terms, same variable and exponent. We will simplify by combining like terms. And a term is basically just a group of letters, numbers, and they're separated by plus or minus. So if I want to simplify this, I'm going to look for the things that are alike. And so we've got numbers that are alike, -6, -4. These are numbers, they're alike. Then we've got 3b and a -10b. The b makes these alike. So then we use our rules for adding. We've got positive, negative, so those signs are different, so we subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. 10 is negative, so our 7 will be negative, and we have a b. -4, -6. They both have a negative, that means they are the same, so we add and keep the sign. And this is an expression. Notice it does not have an equal sign. We cannot solve it. We can only simplify. Now when we get further into our chapter, you will be solving equations, but for now we're just simplifying. Alright, so here's another one. 5x squared minus 3x plus 10x squared plus 8. There's only one thing in here that's alike, the x squares. And we go ahead and pick up the sign that's in front of them. So we have 5 plus 10, 15x squared, minus 3x, plus 8. Simplified. Can't solve it. On this one, before we can combine, we distribute. And that means we're going to have to multiply. 4 times 3, x and 3, negative 2 times 2, and negative 2 times 4. So we'll have 4x plus 12 minus 4x plus 8. Negative times negative is a positive. Combine like terms, and looks like our x's are going to cancel out. 4 minus 4 will give me 0. 12 plus 8 gives me 20. Okay, let's let you practice just a tiny bit of this. We'll use both of these. We're going to use the combining and the distributing in solving equations. So I want you to practice this a little bit. Okay, you know the drill. Write it down, pause, do the math, and come back and check it. Alright, so check your answers, see how you did. You've got to be sure that you are multiplying negative times 9x and the negative times negative to get this positive. That's where we make our most mistakes, is remembering to multiply times that last number. So do be very careful. Alright, so this is 2.1. We looked at combining and distributing, and we're going to use both of these to solve equations soon in our next few sections. So get this homework done so that you'll understand what's going on when you get to the next one. Good luck.